Hey guys, welcome back to Career and Careers Podcast. On today's episode, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Ronnie Gatrey. Ronnie owns a video production company that specializes in podcast production. Ronnie owns RLG Productions. Ronnie is well versed and experienced in podcasting. He has been a part of many podcasts that he himself was featured on and has produced even more. I really was excited to get a chance to know Ronnie and get a little bit of the peek behind the scenes on his story. And I'm excited to share it with you today. Check it out. Ronnie Gatrey,
Yes,
thank you
yes.
so much for joining me today on Career and Careers Podcast. You're actually the first official guest that I've had in person in studio.
That's
Thank
what I
you.
was. That's what I was wanting selfishly. And when I saw Colin on here, I was like, "Dang, he beat me to it." But
Well, yeah. What I'm doing with Colin's a little bit different. It's not a typical episode that I did with Colin. We sort of broke down some of the calls that he's made recently, like his discovery call as well as his proposal call, which has been really beneficial to me just to learn from him.
yeah,
And so that was more of what that was. So it wasn't a traditional Korean Careers podcast. You're the first real deal.
that
So
makes my
yeah,
day, man. You can
Colin
cut. You
was
can cut the
invitation.
podcast now. We're not. I mean, I'm good.
Well, seriously, man, I want to first of all just express appreciation for you in the comments, man. You have just been really encouraging to me when I would see you celebrate what I was doing, and just the people that I had on here. So I just appreciate that first and foremost. And then when I went and actually said who is this Ronnie guy, you know? And so I started looking at your stuff, and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's I think most people that know you and know of your work would agree. You're like the podcast king in Birmingham.
Whoa,
No,
Brian. Whoa,
you don't
whoa.
think so?
No
You
way.
do so many podcasts because it's not even like you're doing a podcast, right? I mean, I'm trying to do a podcast.
Yeah,
You do like 4 podcasts of
yeah,
your own,
yeah.
and then you also produce I don't know how many people's other podcasts.
Yeah.
Some are on site and some are in studio.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm going to stand by it, dude. I don't know. I mean, you tell me who out there is doing that much podcasting in the
Man,
Birmingham
Brian, I
area.
don't know, but man, like it's honoring to hear you say that. But I'm like, King, like I'm still trying to figure this out.
All right, you want to be like a Duke
Yeah,
or
let me be-
Earl or what?
Can
I don't know.
Can
all
I be the
top-
podcast guy in Birmingham? I
jester?
prefer,
You want to be the jester, the court jester?
Perfect. I'll take that. King, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
I understand. That's too much pressure.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is,
all right.
man.
You're the podcast jester
Okay,
of Birmingham.
I'll
So,
take it
yeah,
gladly.
yeah. Well, seriously though, man, I really appreciate you joining me today. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Yeah, man, likewise. It's an honor to be here, man. And I'll tell you this, Brian, it's easy to root this on for what you're doing. I got so much respect for it. And man, when you reached out, I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian. Dude, I hollered in excitement. My wife was sitting right next to me. She was like, "What is happening with you?" I was like, "Babe, I'm gonna be on the Creative Creators podcast."
That's
She was like,
awesome,
"What is
dude.
that?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Man, get away from me! Like, I'm having a moment right now." But no, I appreciate you having me on here, man. You've had some legends on here, and I am grateful to even be considered for this. I mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a genuine fan of the Birmingham creative community, and I count myself fortunate just to be able to sit and have the conversations that I get to have. And I really am excited to have you be like the first in studio official guest.
Thanks, man.
So it's cool. And I think the fact that you and I have obviously some similar work we're doing and similar things that we're aspiring to create, both in our work and in our studios.
Yes.
So I think it was sort of a perfect
Dude, were we
match to
separated
have
at
you.
birth? Be for real.
What's that?
Were we separated at birth?
Hey, you take that hat off, man. I think people say we're twins,
on.
right? I'm gonna have to ask my mama some questions.
Yeah, same.
That's
Oh,
funny.
man.
That's funny. All right. Well, I want to get into this because
Okay.
I try to stay on track. Oh, come on now. Which one? Which
Dude,
one's
I
getting
knew
you?
this was coming, and I'm still not prepared. Where we gonna start?
You tell me which one are you most enjoying to see right now?
Man, I gotta go with the bottom one, the bottom circle, man.
Okay, I
Cause
mean, that's your headshot, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
on your
yeah.
website and
Shout out to
everything.
Mary Fair. I don't know if you know her or not.
I don't.
Man, she took these for me. I don't even know how I got connected with her, but like she is easily my favorite photographer in Birmingham. And
Okay.
she made these happen. She'd be a great guest too.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
great
Yeah,
guest.
hey, the
But
list is always growing, man.
okay,
More and more
okay.
people. I remember whenever I first started, I was like, I'll probably get 10, 15, 20 people. It's I'm not even scratching the surface yet, man.
That's
It's
good, man.
incredible
Because
the
what you're
number of
doing here is
creators.
just anyway. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
you know how I go,
Well,
Brian.
hey, I love. First of all, I love the shirt. We don't get to see a lot of it, man, but it's a great looking shirt on you,
Thanks,
man.
man.
I
Thank
like
you.
that. So where were y'all taking that
We
photo at?
we took this at Mary's studio,
Okay.
and I was looking for some. My request to Mary was like, I want headshots, but I want them to be different.
Yeah.
And so she was like, okay, Ronnie, if you want to be different, you got to bring a different energy. And I was thinking, okay. And she talked about clothes and stuff like that. And my wife went and found that shirt,
Yeah.
and I was uncomfortable wearing that. But she was just like, come in something different, bring what you have,
Yeah.
and then I'll do the rest. And we took several shots, several of those I repurposed for various things today. But so yeah, she does a great job of just like really capturing my spirit and energy. And that's why like whenever I have the accessible time and funds, man, I'm calling up Mary. Like I got some stuff. I'm redoing my website. And so I gotta send Mary something because I want a totally different shoot for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'll say this: she definitely caught some of the energy that you bring. I think one thing that I see more often than anything in your podcast is your laughter.
Oh gosh, dude. Yes,
Usually, man,
yes.
you at some point, I think it even startles whoever is on the podcast with you that you start laughing and they don't even know what to do.
Right.
Oftentimes they're laughing with you, but
Yeah.
occasionally it's like, what's going on right now?
I've
So,
seen that a lot.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah. All right, so tell me about this second picture in the
Okay,
middle, man.
man, man, years ago, man, I got into the CrossFit thing,
Yeah.
man, and I don't know if you've done CrossFit.
I
Okay,
no.
okay. Well, and again, this was a long time ago. This is
Yeah.
like 12 years ago. But dude, when you get into CrossFit, man, like you find yourself in the community, man, doing everything. And this was a CrossFit competition, and
It looks like you look very intimidating. Like that's like I don't know if that's just sweat
that's
coming
sweat.
down your head.
That is a bead
It
of sweat.
looks like an indention. It looks like you have like almost imploded your own head just out of like pure yelling at
Yeah.
somebody. So that's what it looks a little bit like.
well,
But you
man,
look tough, man. You would scare the
oh,
crap out of me.
oh,
on that.
dude, look, okay, come on, man. I got a Brooks Brothers shirt on. Don't let that intimidate you, man. There's a teddy bear that I see there.
That does not
But
look like a teddy bear, man.
but no, so like I kind of made a name for myself in that gym as like the hype man or
Yeah.
encourager. And so that particular night, my team wasn't competing, but I went because several people were like, Ronnie, if you could just come here and just like motivate us. And I was like, say a lot less. I'll be there. And so the two is whoever, well, I can't remember who's in the other side of it, but I was like, look, you got two more reps. You got two more reps to greatness. I remember saying that. And that person was just like, oh, okay, I got two more reps. I think his name was Brent Boyd who captured that shot, man. We at the CrossFit gym I was at the time, we have this like internal network thing where we post pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When that picture hit there before it went social, man, people went nuts over that. So, man, it's crazy you found, man.
Well,
Brian, look, dude, I can't mess with you, man. You do your research, man, and I love that.
Well, thank you. Some people make it easier than others.
Okay.
Facebook in general is my normal go-to. Occasionally I get into like Instagram, and if I'm really hunting something, I'll end up finding like somebody's mom.
Ooh,
or
okay.
my favorite, I found a mother-in-law that had shared Adam Wesley in he was dressed as Bullwinkle. It's still my favorite.
I remember seeing that
Gosh,
one. Yeah.
that one's still my favorite one. So, all right, well, let's get to the questions a little
Cool.
bit. So, who is Ronnie Gatrey? Who do you explain yourself to be, or who do other people even say that you are?
Man, look, listen, first and foremost, you don't have enough memory card for me to talk about. No, man, I like to start. I'm husband to a great woman named Tabitha for 16 years at the time of this recording.
Congratulations!
Thank
on
you,
that,
man. She's been like my most motivating resource, I gotta say, in everything. And she's quiet, but she's one of those people that doesn't have to say much. But when she
Yeah.
says it, it's like it seems like she said a lot. So,
Everybody
hus-
needs to listen at that
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Husband to Tabitha, a father to Noah and Abraham, who Noah is 12 at the time of this recording. Abraham is 8 at the time of this recording. Our joke is I'm the only one in our house without a biblical name. So do with that what you want. But
I bet there's a Ronnie somewhere in there,
got,
maybe.
gotta be.
Should be.
But other than that, man, like, dude, I am just a lover of people. And man, like someone asked me recently, like, what's your energy source? And it's just like people, man. Like, dude, I struggled in 2020 and COVID. Like I had my
Yeah.
family there, so don't take it the wrong way. But like I realized how much I get going by just being in the presence of others. And it's not even about me. It's just about like, and it's kind of what led me to where I am now. But like I'm thankful to the Lord that what drives me, what he chose to drive me was being available to connect with people, hear their stories, no judgment, and let's just see if we can build a friendship. Now, I'm not asking for anything. I just want time to sit and listen.
Yeah.
And man, since I've been walking in that and been confident in that, dude, it's just been it is hard for me to not wake up every day excited. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
I think I can relate. First of all, my wife she's more of an introvert, right? Well, she's definitely an introvert. She gets energized by getting away from crowds and isolating herself, not by herself, but like with people that are her closest people. So like our household, close friends, close families, more on these small scale kind of basis. And usually she gets energized just by that separation from the groups, right? Not me. When you put me in like I can be completely dog tired, exhausted, just the roughest week ever, maybe even tons of stress, but you put me in like a group with, especially the meetups that we've done in the past, you put me in a group like that and I'm it's like I'm on like this new high, this new energy that comes in. And that's one reason I started this, and I think that's why you do the podcast you do. I love having conversations. I love
Yes.
sitting down and talking. I used to do it at coffee shops. I would meet up with people and I had some great conversations and I was like, this needs to be on video. Like I wish there was a way to capture this. And
Yeah.
that's what led to Creating Careers podcast.
Dude, ancestry.com right now. I know we're on the same family tree. We gotta be, Brian. We're not playing with it anymore. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean seriously, like
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The extrovert that really gets energized by
It
crowds.
seems like we married the same type of woman too, because that is my wife.
They got to
Tabitha.
bring us. They got to reel us in sometimes and get us to slow down and sit
Yes.
by ourselves and think. Sometimes that's hard,
Dude,
especially nowadays we scroll or watch
Right.
TV. So yeah.
Can I share one thing with you
Yeah.
that you made me think of, man? This goes back to premarital counseling. And that's when I was starting to figure out my wife was really an introvert.
Yeah.
And I had the hardest time. I'm like, you mean you re-energize by yourself? You recharge by yourself? That seems like solitary confinement.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, to you, because you are the opposite. And I didn't appreciate it at the time, but as I continue to grow and continue to learn about her, oh man, like there's a big source of inspiration and motivation just by learning from someone who's wired totally different than you.
Right.
So yeah, I get it.
My wife, even like on vacations, when it was just me and her, the activities that I want to do versus the activities she wanted to do were totally different. And I've learned to appreciate like the real benefits of what she wanted to do. And I think she's done the same, but we pull each other in different directions, which I think is good. I mean, it balances us out. It causes people like me and you to slow down, and it causes people like them to, hey, let's move forward. So, so I think I know for me, it's been great. It sounds like it's
Same.
been great for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, man.
So
That's cool.
let's talk journey, right? Okay. So we'll move on and see if, it looks like for the most part, these are just some good celebratory pictures right here, right? I'm a big Chippendale fan. So
Okay.
I imagine,
Okay.
I mean, I was like the Rescue Rangers.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Take me
we're
back.
same age. So
Yes.
yeah.
Take me back.
Rescue
Seriously.
Rangers
After
were
school,
it, man. Oh
Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah. I loved it, man, all the
Yes.
time. So, but no, tell me about your creative journey.
Okay.
I want to know, like, how did you get interested in video. Based on your social, it looks like you've had a wide range of jobs
Yeah.
over the years, and maybe some of these you still do. I'm not really sure whether you're like full time in your production or whether you still work for a company or not. But tell me a little bit of how you got started in the video space, the podcasting space, whatever,
Okay. Well,
whatever the entry level was for
I got you. And
Yeah.
let me just set this straight before I get into it. I was never a member of the app team, so don't let that shirt fool you. My guy Alex Miller, yeah, for sure. But me, I just was wearing the shirt.
It's
So
more of an
anyway,
aspirational
yeah,
kind of
oh God,
shirt, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you got to claim it to be it, So
I've
anyway,
given up on abs. I
same
gave
man.
up on that a long time ago.
They're in there somewhere. I don't know if the world's gonna
I
see
don't
it.
even think I have them. I really don't. I think it was a genetic birth defect. Maybe that's where our family tree branches, because I don't think I've got them. I've never seen evidence
never
of
seen
them.
mine
So at
either.
this point, I'm just assuming they don't exist.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool,
yeah. Either that or maybe it's like what is it? Billy Graham said about the about God. I think it was like. Can you see the wind? No, but I can see the effects of the wind. And he was talking about like I don't even see the effects of abs. I can't get up in the morning out of bed without rolling. Sorry, this is too much information.
No, but I'm with you. Just know that I'm with you on that. But no, in all seriousness, my creative journey, man, Brian, I'm telling you, I'm gonna try to keep this concise.
Yeah.
But it started. I don't even remember what year it was, but it started with a good friend of mine named Caesar Walker. He and I used to work together at this Fortune 500 company here in Birmingham out of college, and we had an idea to start what we didn't even know at the time was a podcast. And that's when the tipping point began. And our whole content direction, at least initially, was we were talking about shared experiences in corporate America from a Black male's perspective.
Yeah.
And so we were very, very conscious about like not including names of people, but just sharing things, like code switching and things like that we do on the job. And man, we started off like I think we recorded an episode in our car. Like it was wild.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like
Yeah.
I've seen this podcast. I mean, it seems to have a pretty good following. I mean, some of your bigger views videos have done really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still lucky if I get like 8, like people that actually watch the full podcast. More people watch it on social.
Sure.
But you've definitely got up there in like the tens of thousands. I
Oh.
think maybe I don't recall exactly how. I just looked at it earlier today, but
Okay.
I don't remember the exact numbers. But you've definitely got some thousands of views, if not even. I'm not sure. Have you gotten up to hundreds of thousands yet on any of them?
Yeah. So our most popular clip, it topped out at like 3.2 million views.
Oh, wow.
And,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
it was so crazy. Caesar, who was more into social media at that time than
Yeah.
I was, he was like, man, you don't understand. Like, I don't know if you heard the Joe Budden podcast,
Yeah.
but like they had that clip on their show, and you're talking about a show with like, I mean, they pay him to do this, millions of people.
That's wow.
And he was getting texts from people like, hey, dude, they got your podcast. Like Joe Budden's talking about your podcast clip. And dude, I love telling that story. But anyway, I can't get into it. I can't get into it. But yeah, so like at that, to answer your question, that was the most. And like that was when we hit our mark.
Yeah.
And then after that, man, we went a couple months to where there was no clip we were putting out there that was getting less than 10K views.
That's
It
awesome.
was wild.
Well, the production value that I see now is I mean, I see it from a lot of your content. You do this in your studio. I mean, the production value looks great. The
Thank you.
editing is clean, man. You do such a great job of, stacking clips at times, and then other times where, I mean, it's just, you got good energy in your cuts. And
Thanks,
so I really
man.
do appreciate
Dang,
that.
Brian, you don't understand. You
Well,
well, emotional here, dude.
No,
Where's the Kleenex? You know I'll cry.
I think the thing is, man, I think people that don't do the editing on a podcast, they don't understand the work it takes to just go back into it and watch every piece of it, make your selects, and then go even deeper into, now how can I make this select most impactful for social? Not to mention, you're sometimes taking a 4-minute segment that you want to use and you're cutting it down to like a minute and a half or less.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just takes so much work. And what I've seen, your edits. I think you do really well with
Thank you
that.
so much, Brian.
Props.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um,
But I want to
yeah,
know the production value on that to begin with. You're saying
yeah,
you were recording it in your car with a
dude.
phone?
No, dude. So we got a Blue Yeti.
Okay.
we got
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got a Blue Yeti from Best Buy for like $90, and we were sharing that at first, and then Caesar came to me. It was like, dude, we had done probably like 6 episodes at this point,
Yeah.
and he was like, dude, I think I'm ready for my own mic. Like it's kind of weird sharing one mic, and so
How
so.
close were y'all
Right.
to?
Oh, dude. And thankfully, we weren't doing video then. It was just
Oh,
audio.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
A
dude,
little safer.
I went and got a second Blue Yeti, and we recorded. At this point, we're in libraries now. Like, I didn't know you can book a room at a
Yeah.
library. So we're in there with a MacBook and 2 Blue Yetis, and we were starting to like really get our feet up under us and start to get some traction. And we realized probably after 10 episodes after that only one mic was working, and so. So
You were a pro
man,
already,
come on,
man.
man.
Woo!
Yes. So
You cut your teeth the hard way.
seriously, shout out to YouTube University for teaching me what an aggregate device was in GarageBand. And that was the mechanism to get both of the Blue Yeti mics working. So
Was that
anyway.
analog?
Yeah, dude, it might as well be. But anyway, so when we got 2 mics going, it was like, oh, dude, we sound like a podcast now. And so we kept going, and I gotta have a lot of gratitude for Caesar, because one of the things he was very very adamant about was, dude, we're gonna record an episode every week.
Yeah.
And I disagreed with him, and I was like, dude, whoa, like we don't know what we're doing. He's like, no, we're showing up every week. And I didn't realize what the foundation he was helping me build, because I didn't see where this was gonna go. But showing up, putting those reps in, because I was doing all the editing, I was doing all the uploading, all that stuff, or at least I thought I was.
Yeah.
And but doing that every week and those reps in, dude, that builds over time, even if you can't see it. So anyway, my wife graciously, since she realized we were serious about it, she was like, okay, cool. Y'all can have the lobby. My wife's a pediatric dentist. Y'all can have the lobby of my dental office on Sundays between 1 and 3. And if I have an emergency, y'all got to stop recording. And I was like, I'll take it. And dude,
Yeah.
that was like my first studio.
Yeah.
And man, we started recording episode. Anyway, let me keep this going. So that's when Caesar, when I came to Caesar, and I was like, dude, they got podcasts on video now? He was like, I didn't know, but like we should do it. It's like, cool, give me your phone. He was like, what? Give me your phone. So man, I set up his iPhone, my iPhone, 2 camera shot, and we shot our first episode doing that, and I bought it back into not Final Cut, but what's the kiddie
Like
version?
iMovie?
iMovie, yes,
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
MacBook.
Yeah.
And dude,
Yeah.
that was the moment for me. Just compiling all this. I didn't know what it meant to sync anything. I'm lining everything up like frame by frame, but it did not seem like work to me. And
I'll tell you, it's so incredible whenever you sort of get bit by the bug, right? And you're able to get your reps in on your own stuff. So,
yes.
Creating Careers podcast, I don't know how many people know the full story of how it started. At some point, I got to have one or both of my former partners that started it with me on at some point. I've already talked with Tyler Downey, one of the guys that helped me start it. I'm going to get him in studio at some point. But anyway, the way it started was me, Tyler, and this guy, Jacob. We were all aspiring YouTubers. And so Tyler actually designed the logo, Creating
Nice.
Creators.
Yeah.
And we were meeting at my house, and we did the same thing. It was every week. They would come in on Wednesday night, and we would sit down and record an episode. Sometimes we'd record 2 or 3 episodes, and we weren't sharing them out yet. We were just bulk recording, and we with plans to share it out. And then we ended up doing like a launch. Man, we went from our first video. I think we all had lapels on.
Yeah.
And so we first started like that, and then we ended up getting these cheap USB Rode mics, right? And then the first time we got the mics, we literally had them on top of the boxes they came in just to get them closer to our mouth. And this is video,
it.
okay?
Yes,
It wasn't
I
like we were
love
just
it.
doing audio; we were doing video.
Yeah.
And anyway, from there we ended up getting mic arms. We ended up upgrading to like we had 3 cameras. We were just sitting at a table in my old office. Like it was great. But what was best about it for me, I mean, it was great to just hang out, talk shop, grow together. But then professionally, I started doing or getting chances to do podcasts. So Shelby County Schools that I worked for, they wanted to do a podcast. The superintendent did. I started getting opportunities to like set up stuff that was similar type podcast. Later, I ended up taking creating creators a different direction after we sort of disbanded a little bit.
Yeah.
And so all that to say, I have gained so many skills by cutting my teeth on my own personal projects when there's a whole lot more grace and forgiveness than had I been doing that professionally the whole
Yeah.
time.
That man, yes. It
Yeah.
is it's so great and reassuring to me to hear people who have gone through the similar, specifically when it comes to like going from an idea of a podcast to full-fledged execution.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes you feel isolated. Sometimes it's like, man, I'm the only one out here going through this. But to hear you say that and they're almost like parallel in terms of how you got there,
Yeah.
dude, that is so reassuring.
And mad props to both of our wives for putting up with
Man,
us.
100%.
Jennifer, my wife Jennifer, she put up with these two guys coming to my house, us telling all the kids, we have 4 kids, be quiet because my office was downstairs. So you can imagine the dog would run and bark at the door. You know,
Yeah.
she was trying to manage all of that while I'm down there for hours
Yeah.
just talking. You know, it's like, anyways, yeah, she's the props to both.
Props
of
to
our
the wives,
Yeah.
man. Yes. So like we've got at this point we got Tipping Point going, and I get a call from this dude named Nick Crawford, and he's like, "Hey man, I was looking for like the Tipping Point podcast, like is looking for Ronnie or Caesar." And I was like, "Man, this is Ronnie, but like, how'd you find me?" And he's like, "Oh, your number's on your SoundCloud." You're on SoundCloud. And I was like, I didn't even remember putting the number out there. And so we have a great conversation, and he ended up asking me to produce his podcast. And I was like, "Well, dude, you got to find a podcast producer. Like, I don't produce these things." And he was like, "Okay, well, who do y'all use?" And I was like, nobody. He's like,
Do it
"Well,
in house.
yeah." He's like, "Well, who edits it?" And I was like, "Well, I do." "Well, who puts it out there so people can?" At this point, we had a little bit of video. "Who puts it out and all those things?" I was like, "Well, I do that." And he's like, "Dude, it sounds like you're a producer." I was like, okay, man. And that was like a hat I'd never worn before, or at least been intentional about.
Right.
I was just trying to get content, be creative, because I loved it. And so, man, we ended up doing a podcast with him. Man, I can't even remember the name of it, but I produced that one. And man, he ended up coming in and saying like, "Okay, Ron, I got a space. I want you to do it here, but I need you to like outfit this thing. Like, tell me what you would do."
Now that's cool.
Yes, and
He
so
gave you a budget to do that with?
he didn't give me a budget, bro.
He just told you
He
do
told
it,
me yes. He was just like,
but he was going to write the check.
he was
for
gonna
it?
write the check,
Woo.
and specifically, he was like, "Man, build it on Amazon."
Yeah.
And so I built it with just the audio stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, Ronnie, like I want the camera, like I want the stuff." So
Yeah.
like I built it, man. He ordered everything, texted me, was like, "Hey man, the last piece of it just arrived. It's all there in the studio. You got a key. You can go set it up. Let me know when it's set up, and I'll start booking people." And I was like, "This is crazy," you know. So that's when I learned the Rodecaster Pro and all that stuff. And then I was like, "No, dude, I'm a producer for real." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Small space, but just that joy that I had, it took it up a notch. And it was just like, okay, like I'm gonna really do this thing. And from that point on, I didn't realize how big of an audience Nick had. And Nick was putting his stuff out because I was curating the clips for him.
Right.
But he had somebody like put it on YouTube, Instagram, wherever. And people will start to call him and say, "Dude, who's doing your podcast?" And he's like, "Oh, man, you got to holler at my guy Ronnie." And so now it's like I'm starting to build like a client base, and I'm like, this is really crazy. And so I still never thought about having a business around it. Like, and to give you context, man, I was charging folks like $50, you know, just to produce their podcast.
Right.
And Nick had a very stern talk with me, and he was like, "No, dude, there's a lot of value in this. You need to go up." So
It's the hardest part.
It's
man.
hard,
trying
dude.
to figure out.
It's hard.
I always say my phrase is, "You're worth what you say you're worth until someone tells you you're not." But it's so hard to find that like sweet spot of
Yes.
making sure your client feels like they're getting a value, while at the same time you getting enough to not get burnt out on it, and just spinning your wheels or pissing your wife off,
Right, right. Which
because
I
you're
got
giving
some of
way
that.
too much time and not enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned that because I almost lost sight of this, but unilaterally, dude, I was moonlighting at this time. I had a full-time job as a marketing consultant for a local real estate brokerage.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was showing up there 8 to 5. And then some nights, shout out to my wife again, because again, we got 2 boys, 2 young kids. Um, there were points to where like I was booking 6 o'clock sessions and recording with folks till at least 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So my wife was at home holding it down while I was chasing this for $50 an episode podcast.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's funny about it is as people I was working with started seeing the podcast, like I didn't promote it at all. Like, and the algorithm's weird. They'll start to see stuff and excuse me. I had one of the real estate agents approach me and was like, "Hey, dude, like this stuff looks good. Like, have you ever thought about doing video like outside the studio, like real estate stuff?" And I was like, "Nah, dude. Like, I'm just a podcast guy. Like, two cameras, tripod, and magic." And so he challenged me and he was like, "Well, let's give it a shot. I think you're good at it, and let's see how we do." So I
Yeah.
did a listing video for him. It was absolute trash, overexposed, like couldn't control the light, and I had no idea what I was doing. I shot everything on auto. Auto sucks. Like
Yeah.
I used to hear people say that, and anyway, so like it was absolute trash. But Jason's the guy's name. He was like, "Man, Ronnie, yeah, this isn't good, but like I enjoyed the process of working with you. Like you brought a good energy. You encouraged me, and I was afraid of the cameras, but you made it so comfortable. So like, let's keep doing this. I believe you're gonna get better, and as you get better, I want to grow with you." And so I started shooting content for him, and then other agents at the office would see it, and then like so that created another wing of my job at the time because I was just there like providing marketing intelligence, like
Yeah.
how to get the most of the content we're doing at the time.
Do you have a degree in marketing?
No,
Oh, okay. Okay. I
no
thought.
way,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude. I went to school for MIS,
What is MIS?
Management Information Systems.
Okay.
I'll put it
Okay.
to you this way. I love telling this. I started out computer science, and if you can't cut it computer science, they throw you into MIS.
They're like, you're not going to pass these classes.
Right.
Try these instead.
Which was me. So so like, just like business applications and IT, which is what I did out of college. So, but no, I had no degree in that, no formal training in that. Uh, but anyway, so at that point, I'm starting to do videos for more and more agents. I'm starting to love it, and I'm like, man, so like I'm building a skill of shooting video outside of the studio, but I'm also building a revenue stream of doing podcasts in studio. And it was just crazy how everything just started working together because my podcast clients started seeing the real estate stuff, and my real estate stuff started seeing the podcast stuff. And it was like I started getting requests coming out of nowhere. And again, was not marketing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you can relate to this. When I went home and was looking at these edits, I'm like, I haven't produced anything worth the advertising or marketing.
We're our own worst
We
critics,
are, man.
which is good. I mean, if everyone else was telling you how bad you are,
Exactly.
and you're like, no, I'm good, that's not a good spot to be in.
It's
So I
not.
would much rather people say, oh, your stuff is great. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It's
but
all right.
but at some point we also need to acknowledge the growth, and so I can imagine that you started seeing your own growth and room for improvement, but still acknowledging where you came from.
Yeah.
And that to me, I think, is the part that is encouraging. I mean, it's encouraging to hear people say, hey, you're doing great. I would imagine real estate, especially whenever you were first getting started in video and real estate, is probably similar to the world of education. The standards that people in that industry set for you is probably lower than your own standards. So it's
Yes.
hard to know, like, somebody's telling you, oh man, you're killing it on this, and you're like, am I really? Like, if I was to talk with somebody else that focuses primarily on video, would they say that I'm hitting some good points
Yeah.
in my editing and my shooting and all of that? So it's hard to always gauge your own value
Yes.
and like how good your work really is. But what I always go back to is growth.
Yes.
I look at my first few videos and I look at my, later videos or my current videos, and I'm like, I can point out the growth.
Yeah.
So it's so encouraging at that point. Otherwise, it just becomes like you sort of beat yourself up.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and I was definitely there.
yeah,
So yeah,
it's hard to compare. I mean, we all compare ourselves to each other at times, and that's tough. I mean, like I go back to your editing, if I wish I edited more like you do. And that's the thing. It's like we start comparing ourselves and we beat ourselves up. But then if we'll just take time and say, wait a minute, let me look back at my stuff I did, 2, 3, 4 years ago. And
yeah.
now that starts building yourself back up.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
were you able to get that kind of growth, especially, I mean, you talked about auto, so obviously you've moved off of that. You
Yes,
still do some real estate stuff with your
I do a
production
little
company?
bit. Yeah.
What's
I,
your main thing now?
that's a good question, man. I think it's podcasts. I don't know. I don't know how much you've stalked me,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you've heard me talk about this Overton Fellowship that was honored to be a part of last year. It's a leadership cohort in Birmingham led
Okay.
by this dude named Jared Weinstein. I say this dude, but
Yeah.
amazing guy. But anyway, I was fortunate enough to get in that last year, and going through that 8 month period, I got to really reshape the approach for my business. And it was really the inspiration behind me starting off script, really, because a lot of I guess my natural being was on display for 15 people who'd never met me before. And so, like, you get feedback we have these presentations and things we have to do.
I think I've seen
Have you,
some of the presentations that
okay.
you've done
Yeah,
where you really sort of talk about RLG Productions and sort of the mission and mindset
correct.
of your company.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I've seen that,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I didn't really connect what it was for. It looked almost like you were doing oh gosh, Birmingham has like the co-starters kind of stuff, and it looked almost like you were doing a pitch
Yes. That
for a grant or something like that. So I wasn't really sure what that was for.
those clips you saw from a micro business accelerator program I was in
Okay.
with Kara, a different organization, but I was that was good because that was the precursor for me. Like, and I didn't even realize it because the Overton opportunity came out of nowhere. But that was a precursor before I got into Overton. So I
Okay.
was building my confidence. Like, I'm gonna start a business. Here's my pitch, and that was indeed a pitch event that we had where we got to compete for grants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, tell me
yeah,
this, Birmingham. I mean, it really is in this area, at least. It seems to be just like the hot spot of startups. It's the hot spot of business in general. How much benefit has it been to be like in the midst of that? Because I
oof,
mean, I'm here in Shelby County, which there's definitely some of that in pockets,
yeah.
but it seems like it's ultra concentrated in Birmingham.
Dude, it's been a huge benefit. And I credit my experience in Kara and my experience in Overton to get me more exposure to that.
Yeah.
And just being close to that scene, you realize how small Birmingham is because you're meeting people and you're like, oh no, I met him here. He knows him and she knows that guy. And I know and it's like, oh, you know Ronnie? Yeah. So it's like, boom, it's so organic. But in terms of like what it did for me to motivate me to really like grab this bull by the horns and get RLG Productions in gear, it was like the missing ingredient that I needed.
Yeah.
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 That's a
You're
great question.
Are you full time now?
Yeah, I am. I am. Yeah, and
Okay.
I do a lot of consulting work
Yeah.
as well in addition, but yeah, full-time RLG Productions trying to figure out the delicate balance between podcast producer and short form video creator. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with a podcast studio, you're really both.
Yeah.
Even just in studio stuff.
I'm so sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
I,
going on
I
here.
offered you water
You
earlier
did.
and
And
you turned it
on
down.
my third cough, I was like, I should have taken that water.
We can always revisit
Okay,
if we need
okay.
to. So you let me know. Hey guys, let me take just a moment to thank our sponsor, AmFirst. AmFirst has been my personal credit union as well as my wife's personal credit union pretty much ever since we were teenagers. Both of our families have long histories with AmFirst, and we are soon preparing to take our third child into a branch to open up their savings and checking account. I really am excited and thankful for our history with AmFirst and the fact that we're sort of carrying that forward into the next generation through our kids. Um, Thank you again to AmFirst for supporting this podcast and for supporting families and small businesses in Birmingham and beyond. I really am thankful for their partnership and sharing the stories that we get to share in this podcast. All right, now back to the conversation.
Okay, we'll do.
But let me move on to the next image
Oh
here.
man.
Okay. All right. We've already
I'm
touched
going
on
for
it a
my
little bit.
heartstrings now, Brian.
And I'm sorry, I wanted to get both of your sons on each side, but I'm afraid I've got the same son
You
on
did.
each
You got
side.
Noah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I'm
That's
like
okay.
I with the one on the left there, it's sort of hard to tell
Yeah.
which child
Yeah.
this is. So, but that looks like a moment that I bet your wife was really glad to capture.
Yes. Yes. That
Is
was.
that what I think it is on
Yeah,
you?
man. That is definitely cake. The smash cake, which I didn't even know that was a
Okay, okay.
thing.
I actually was thinking worse.
Oh, would you? Oh, you thought it was cute.
I thought he threw up on you, man, because that's
Hold on. Let me
happened to
look at the.
me.
No, 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 no. That's smash cake
Okay,
because
okay.
he had a Rookie of the Year themed birthday party, and he had a personalized Braves jersey on, but my wife took it off of him so he could smash
Yeah,
the cake, and
yeah,
then we
that
put it
was a
back
good
on him. No,
decision.
this is not projectile vomit. I don't think we got any of that picture.
I was like, that's happened to me, and my
Oh yeah.
wife did. She came in the room, saw it, she left, grabbed her phone, came back, took a picture. So I do have that picture of me with projectal vomit all over me. So
Yeah.
the
Not as
joys.
bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Joys
it's
of
different when it's your kid, I guess, but yeah.
maybe I don't know. I mean, it's where all it got. It was
Oh, man.
yeah. It was not good.
Yeah.
It was not a good experience. So
But no, that was his first birthday.
well, seriously, congratulations! You've got a beautiful family,
Thank
man.
you.
Your two sons, man. They seem incredible.
Yeah.
I got to see you did a video recently for 16th Street Baptist Church.
Sixth
expansion.
Avenue Baptist
Sixth
Church.
Avenue Baptist
Yeah.
Church. Sorry,
Yeah, that's
Sixth
okay.
Avenue Baptist Church. Their expansion.
Yes.
And your son was featured in some of the interviews.
Young
man.
Abraham, yeah.
Yeah, he killed it.
Thanks,
man.
man.
Such a great presence.
I love talking about him, man. And I'm going to, for anyone that's listening, I'm going to forewarn you now. He's the second coming of me with 2,000% more confidence. So, and a lot more hair too.
Yeah.
But
For now.
as you saw,
For now.
yeah. So, when I was shooting that for my church, they asked specifically for him because he's actually been in other commercials that I shot for other clients. I don't know if you saw those.
I didn't come across those yet,
Man,
at least.
one of those commercials ran regionally during March Madness the year before last.
That's cool.
And man, he just thought that was the coolest thing. And so
Yeah.
like that led to them to request him for that. And when I asked him, he was like, "Dad, when are we doing it?" And I was like, "Dude, I mean, I'm glad you're excited about it, but dude, you really are the second coming of me." So
That's awesome.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's fun to see good pieces of yourself in your children. It's rough sometimes to see those negative qualities that somehow they pick up on as well. But but yeah, no, congratulations, man. You got
Thank
a
you for that,
beautiful
Brian.
family. So,
Thank you for
and
that.
we've already celebrated your wife quite a bit, but props to her for putting up with all three of you. Let's talk podcasting, man.
Okay.
I want to talk like what's your views on just the need for podcasting still, because I feel like it's really easy to look at podcasting and podcast platforms and just say it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
It's just so much stuff out there now. How can my voice be heard? Why would I ever do my own podcast? Why would this business do their own podcast? This business owner or this random, maybe stay-at-home mom. Why would anyone want to do a podcast today?
Oh, man, great question. I think the biggest thing that people don't talk about enough is I think podcasting is an effective way to establish trust in whatever audience you're looking to build.
Yeah.
And it can be small scale, it can even be micro scale, and I've seen this through my own journey, but once people feel like they can trust you and connect with you, the sky is the limit. And podcasting is a good way to do that in a long form variety, to where people are at some point willing and wanting to spend time with you in a long form capacity. And with Tipping Point, that was again, I have so much honor for that part of my journey. With Tipping Point, I saw that in action and didn't even realize what was happening. But it's the stuff that you don't see online, on social, to where you're making an impact. The text you get, and dude, this is so crazy, but like just out at Taco Mama for lunch or something like that, and a random person say, "Hey, you're the Tipping Point guy." My name on there was the emotional one, and like I'm not saying it happens every time I go out, because it doesn't, but just those a couple times that it happens from people I don't know, it's like, dude, okay, we've established trust with whatever platform this is,
Yeah.
and we continue to show up. So I think podcasting gives you that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've been telling people recently is don't look at it as just a podcast. Look at it as a testimonial.
Come on
You know,
now.
like you can sit down, and I'd say you and I've already experienced that. You and I have celebrated what each other are doing.
Yes.
That's a testimonial, and it's one that feels a whole lot more genuine and real to your
Yes.
audience, and it's so much less intimidating for the people on camera.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
As my 12-year-old says, that's a bar, man. That's good. That's real good.
Well, and obviously you and I are both trying to sell the idea of doing podcasts. So,
Yeah.
but I genuinely believe that it's really a huge benefit for anyone that is willing to sit down and have a conversation with
Yeah,
somebody else.
absolutely.
I go back to my time in Shelby County Schools. Dr. Brooks, the superintendent, current superintendent, he wanted to do a podcast. I say a podcast. He wanted to do a video series, and he called it One on One with Dr. Brooks. And he just wanted to sit down and talk to students and celebrate their accomplishments. And this was around the same time that I started doing Creating Careers podcast with that team of guys that I sort of started it with. And I came to Dr. Brooks. This was like we'd gotten through COVID because that sort of messed up his plans. He wanted to do it even before COVID. So COVID happened, so we weren't able to do it. We come back from COVID. We've gotten sort of our wheels going again. And then I went to him and I said, "Hey, that conversation thing you want to do, what if we did that in the form of a podcast?" And it was, to me, it first of all, it celebrated these kids and their work that they've done and the accomplishments that they've been able to make. But it also shined a really great light on Dr. Brooks's just normal demeanor, how he is so student focused. He's so approachable. He has friendships and relationships with these families in every community all throughout Shelby County. And every bit of that was sort of raised to the surface through these conversations.
Yeah.
And again, it was testimonials about Shelby County schools without just simply saying Shelby County Schools is great. You know, it's
Right.
like looking straight down the barrel of a lens and saying something like that. It was so much more approachable, so much more genuine feeling, and really honestly genuine.
Yes. Yeah. And then just to add a little bit on that, the concept of Shelby County Schools being great is one thing, but the advantage I think you have in podcasting, excuse me, is that you can take those reasons why they're great, and then you can just stretch that and harp on that and then cut and then get to reason number two. And next thing you know, you're at reason number 28
Yeah.
about why these are great. And when that the right person who needs to hear that or experience that sees it and they see this volume or catalog, that's when you know podcasting has been effective for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I've seen it again. I've seen it happen with me. I've seen it happen for so many of my clients, and it's something that I don't think we talk about enough. And that objection that you said is something I deal with almost on a monthly basis in terms of like, there's millions of podcasts out there. Like, why would I want to do
Right.
one?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is simple, because no one out there has a podcast like yours. And that's worked well for me. And that
Yeah.
usually gets the wheels turning and get to that next question, and that starts the conversation. So,
Yeah. I mean, the Creating Careers podcast has been a great example of me taking an interest I already had, and just simply building conversations around it. And it does bring it raised my personal brand. It elevated my personal brand because Ronnie Gatrey wouldn't have a clue who Brian Pope was
True.
if it wasn't for Creating Careers podcast, you
True.
know? And it's not because Brian Pope sat here and talked about Brian Pope. It's because Brian Pope sat here and asked questions of Ronnie Gatrey and
Yes.
people like him. So, yeah.
Can we stay here for a second? I mean, for real.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the tipping point. Unfortunately, we stopped recording February of last year.
Yeah.
And so man, it was at a moment to where I hadn't fully taken the leap yet, but I was really, really close. And then around that time I got into the Overton thing, and midway through the Overton thing, that's when I took the leap, because it was like, dude, these folks don't even know me and they believe in me. I got to give this a shot. Now, meanwhile, we talk about our wives.
Yeah.
My wife has been in the corner and for years saying, "Hey, you need to do this. You need," and just a silent whisper, and I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about." But anyway, so you do that, and I had this void that I felt like, man, I miss being on a podcast, and it was just like you said, and that's why I got emotional thinking about it. Um, I wanted to facilitate conversations with people that I was meeting, and not just that, but like entrepreneurs, people like you. And one of the themes I saw in Overton as I'm meeting with these like startups and things like that is, man, these folks had to go off script at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like they were like, man, I'm gonna build company A and it's gonna be like this. And something happens and you gotta go figure it out. And in the midst of Overton, I was like, that's it. I remember writing it down. Off script's gonna be the name of the podcast, and I did exactly what you just said. And it was just like, I just invited people to have a conversation and did let them know, hey, there's going to be cameras and mics here, but that's
Right.
it. And I'm going to be there. And it has been such a joy. It's been such a blessing. And Brian, I know you feel this, but like, dude, this is almost like having another kid. And whenever I have time to like focus on that, dude, I don't want to get up and do anything else. Like, I want to just lock in on this. I want to give it everything. Again, it doesn't feel like work, but it's just it's a feeling I get that's hard to explain, but it's based off of that wanting to have genuine conversations with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's incredible how that genuineness translates through the camera. You know, your audience, I think, feels that.
yes.
And that's been huge for me in this podcast. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
props to you on that.
Brian,
And
you gonna be on my podcast?
I would love to be on your podcast,
I
man.
was so nervous
Yeah.
about asking it, man. We were coming back from the Disney cruise.
Why would you be nervous
Dude,
to
'cause,
ask me?
Brian, you don't understand, dude. Like you are like an absolute legend in my eyes, man. I mean it. I mean it when I say
all
that.
right, all right.
Dude.
I'm gonna crawl over here. No,
I
no.
mean it when I say it, man. And like I was telling my wife, like, man, you think Brian will be on mine? Of course, she's like, yeah, he'd be on yours.
I would love to.
Yeah, okay.
I would love to.
I know people say it, but Brian, we're gonna make that happen. I'm gonna get you to my
I
studio,
look forward
and
to
we're gonna go off script.
I like it. I like it. I feel like I don't live by a script, so that's perfect.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
perfect guest.
Well, and I, you know, just like you, welcoming you into this space, I was so excited because I get to, you know, I think we like to celebrate our space. We've put hours and money and just work into them, and so I was pumped to get you to come in here and just see behind the scenes, and I look forward to seeing behind your scenes.
Thanks,
man.
man.
I'm
Thanks.
looking forward to it because I love watching it on whether Instagram or YouTube, the stuff that I've already seen. So
Thanks, man.
I look forward to it, man.
Thanks for that, Brian.
All right,
for real.
let's move on to
We
the
got more?
questions. We do. All right, this is something. First of all, dude, you are part. I see you in so much stuff. I literally go on YouTube and I just search Ronnie Gatrey, and it's like video after video
Are
after
you
video after video.
serious? That's something I've never done.
How do you can't tell me you've never searched your name
I've
up?
never, not on YouTube.
Okay,
A
all right.
Google I have.
Okay, well,
and
you
I'm
need-
ashamed of what comes up at Google.
You need to look on. You need to
Dang,
look
that's
on it, man.
wild.
So,
You
but
found, look at the stuff you found. Go ahead. I'm
yeah, no. I love it. That top right one, man.
That's shout out to my boy Josh Cosico, man. Like that's a dude again who's been like in my corner since day 2.
Yeah.
Like and still is. That's my guy, man. I love Josh.
Yeah, and this is his podcast. That you're
Yeah,
on?
so he runs a digital media company called Arrows.
Okay.
And he's from Sacramento, and he was here in Birmingham for a period while his wife was in PhD school at
Yeah.
UAB, and he's since relocated back to Sacramento. But we met while he was here, and he had a podcast at the time. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's the Arrows podcast, and he invited me on, and I was just thinking like. Again, I was like, dude, you want me on your podcast? Like, wow. But
Well, this was a good moment.
okay, yeah, thanks. You
grabbed
got the chain grab too. I see you, Brian.
It was a good moment. There was probably about 10 good moments
Oh,
right
man.
there in like a few seconds that I could have grabbed. So your facial expressions were really great.
Thanks,
This one was
man.
more the tame one, I
Yeah.
think. So-
Oh yeah. I was very tame on that one. If you went to the tipping point, you probably saw me like very unleashed. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, you are the emotional one in the tipping point. Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Well, I want to talk about impact
Okay.
for your clients specifically. I mean, has there been maybe a specific moment or even in general where you've really been able to see the impact that podcasting had for your
Oh,
clients?
absolutely. And in particular, I could share about all of these you got, but in particular, I want to focus on the bottom left picture.
Yeah,
That's my lady Angela Abdul Rashid with Prosper. They're a continued podcast client of mine, and Prosper's whole mission deals with economic development in Birmingham. And so we met through a mutual friend, and some of the impact I can see just from them having a podcast has led to like grants being awarded to them. Just the exposure, because people in that arena are unique in what they're looking for, and
yeah,
they need long form. They need to hear stories of local businesses that have thrived under Prosper's tutelage or guidance. And as that podcast started really gaining traction, they started seeing the fruits from that, and it made an easy conversion for them to go consistent with it.
yeah.
And I love leveraging them as an example of the impact
Yeah.
that podcasting can have.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Well, and that's such a great space. I've
dude,
been telling
Johina,
my wife about this restaurant. I'm like, we've got to go there.
dude,
We haven't been there yet, but every time I see pictures, Mason David Irwin, you know Mason Irwin?
Mason, I don't
Okay,
think so.
he's a photographer. You need to look him up. He's
Okay,
incredible. He was a recent guest, but he did photos for them.
did
Does a lot of food stuff.
I've probably seen it.
Oh
I've
my
probably seen his
gosh,
work. Then,
man,
yeah,
the
yeah.
place just looks beautiful anyway, and Mason just captured it even more beautifully.
Dude, when Angela reached out and said we're gonna do a podcast there, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie to you, Brian. Like, oof. I was like, you sure? You know, like me.
yeah.
And dude, I was so nervous. Like I went and scouted it like 3 times to make sure I had everything right. And man, it was a great opportunity. And I can't say too much, but you talk about impact from that and how it's blessed Prosper and Johina.
Yeah,
We've got some great things coming in the future just based off that.
that's awesome. Well, I know on site, on location podcasting, just the sheer stress of making sure you don't forget a piece of equipment,
People don't talk about it enough.
not to mention anything you got to deal with in post. It's like, oh my gosh, man.
Yes.
That's tough.
Oh,
I had a client, they were going to Nashville for a conference. It's one of my main clients, and they wanted to do an on-site podcast. At one point, we were going to do it on like they're like a vendor for this conference, and so they wanted to do it on the floor, the vendor floor. That didn't work out. They wouldn't let us do that, so we ended up getting an Airbnb, which worked out good because you get to sort of see what the space looks like beforehand. We were going to potentially rent a studio space, but the Airbnb, I needed a place to stay anyway while we were there. Dude, it worked out great. But I had to load up my car with all of my gear. I literally had it from like bottom to top just packed in there way more than I would ever need.
sure.
But it's because of that stress, man. There's this anxiety that gets in you where it's like, when I get there, what if I need this little tiny
Man.
friction arm
Yes.
that I've never used since I bought it? But what if? What if I need it? And so I packed everything I owned, man. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I mad respect
Thank
for
you.
setting it up like that, because I know the struggle, the anxiety, the stress, not to mention the actual work.
Yes, and this is becoming a theme in this recording, but shout out to our wives again, because I remember the night before this, I was not fun to be around at home because like I had my gear checklist and I had everything there.
Don't mention checklist. My wife tells me all the time I got to make a checklist. Don't mention
Okay,
checklist. That's a
okay,
pain point of mine. No,
we'll
just
we'll edit
kidding.
that out.
Beep.
I'm usually not good with stuff like that,
Yeah.
but that shout out to Drew Callender again. That's something he gave me, and I'm not as intentional about it as I should be. But knowing this, I was like, no, I got to have everything.
Yeah.
But like the amount of trips I made from the house to the truck to just like reconfirm everything on that checklist was just unnerving.
Oh
But
yeah, I
anyway,
believe it, man. Well, it's cool to watch, and definitely great to hear the impact that you see these things having on your actual clients and
yes.
their business. So
And it's an honor too to be able to serve and see that impact come out for the client. Because oftentimes the clients that I've dealt with, they don't even they have an idea of what the impact can be, but when they start really seeing the fruits of that, I love being available to like experience that.
yeah.
So yeah, it gets me going for sure.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're the always the hope is that the client is happy with the product, and what
Yes.
makes them happier than anything is the fact that that product was impactful, that it
Yes.
actually was a positive benefit for them ultimately. I
Yeah.
mean, otherwise, why are they going to come back, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about advice.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
in general, what would you say is either the best piece of advice that you've been given, or maybe something that you often give out as advice? Like, what is that best piece of advice that you'd pass on?
The best piece that I've gotten, it's a culmination of advice from different sources, but it all boils down to what I call the one view theory. And we're in a society to where we're chasing virality. And if I could pivot for a second and
Yeah,
come back, and thinking about the tipping point, that one clip that I told you that got I think 3.2 million views. The thing that people don't see is behind the scenes is, dude, it was cool, but it was a lot of pressure on me
yeah,
because like you're letting that clip do what it does, but I got a lot of anxiety worrying about the next clip.
hmm,
And like that clip's running, like it's doing this thing. I
right,
can't explain it, but I remember having intense talks with Caesar about, dude, I don't even want to put another clip out. I don't,
hmm,
because I'm putting expectation on myself that next clip's got to be 3 million plus. And I didn't realize at the time how impossible of of a task I was putting on myself.
yeah,
But that changed my whole thoughts on virality and chasing it. And it almost took some of the joy out of it. So I remember sharing this with a lot of people that I'm close to in the creative space. And again, the culmination of advice I got was like, man, that's cool. And I know that checks a box for you, but all you really need is one view. And what that means is your content just needs to be viewed by the right person. And one thing we'll never be able to control is how many times our content is viewed, liked, shared, or commented. You can do all the gimmicky things you want to, but man, I I can speak to the value of a lot of content that I've put out that have gotten less than 50 views, but one person sees it and says, "Hey, I like that.
yeah,
Will you do something like that for me?" Boom. And
yeah,
and it's I think it's what we all desire to a degree in whatever it is that we're shaping creatively. I'm getting to a space now to where I'm doing more things for me and I don't really care about how people are perceiving it, but we want to a degree for our content or creative to be liked by some level of audience. And that's cool. I think there's some healthy aspects in that, but when you're thinking about it from a business perspective, like yeah, like man, you can discredit me because I don't have hundreds of thousands of views on most of my stuff, but you can't discredit how business has grown from one person viewing it at a time.
yeah.
So that's something that I've written down. I've got a remarkable paper pro that I'm getting a brand deal with them one day. I don't know, but I'm always talking about it. But I usually start my checklist with that one view, and I quote it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just try to get one view, the right view.
Yeah, yeah. I think with the podcast, with Creating Careers podcast, I have really narrowed down my audience, and I think that's been beneficial. Is I'm not chasing, millions of views all over the world. I'm chasing a few views
Yes.
right here in Birmingham. And even more so, I feel like the guests that I have on, like it's more about them being celebrated by the right people also. It's like when they share out the content, like either on their own Instagram, or even just by me tagging them and it showing up for them, those people that comment support towards them, that's what it's about at that
Yes.
point. And so I'm very fortunate to have found this narrowed niche, and I think that's what I would encourage anyone to do is
Yeah.
like quit chasing the viral
Yeah.
experience, because again, you can't tame that, you can't control that. That is something. I mean, there's all kinds of like gimmicks and tricks people do, but that makes you have to be something that you're not. If you narrow down your niche and you really focus in on it, then hopefully you found a niche that really benefits from you just being genuinely you.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's been, trust me, I did the whole YouTube thing where I tried to like do all the stuff that I saw these other YouTubers do. And I realized that's not me. Just
Yes.
having a great conversation with a much more talented person than myself most of the time, like that's where it's at. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been good, man. But yeah, I think that's great advice. Just stay away
Thanks.
from that viral
It's
trend. It
toxic,
it
man.
ends up being very problematic. So all right, so what's next for you, man? Obviously more golf,
Oh
right?
gosh, we
You
we gonna
seem
talk
to
about
be
that?
you seem to be a golfer.
Dude, I love golf.
Do you?
Golf does not love me.
I,
But
yeah.
I'm not gonna speak for you, but at some point as we date, we all chase that one significant other who has zero interest in us. That has been golf for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's enough to where I keep coming back.
Yeah.
But no, I love the game of golf. It's a game of life. I've learned a lot on the golf course. And man, when I get an opportunity to play and it like all the stars align, because it has to be that now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing the sticks. We're gonna tee them up. Yeah, I
That's
love
awesome.
golf, man.
It's been so long since I've stepped onto a golf course. Oh my
Really?
gosh, yeah. I mean, I played in middle school for the team for a little while. Didn't make the high school team, so sort of just went and drove golf carts with
Oh,
friends.
Brian, you
And
could
would,
play.
I mean, no, probably not. I mean, I watched my dad wrap a club or two around a tree, I think, in my days. So I don't want that to be raising up in me because it's there somewhere. I just try to pack it back down,
There you go.
But yeah, I haven't been out there in a long time. I tried to get my kids to do it some,
Same, yeah.
but I think the best thing about golf is probably the best thing about anything. It's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's getting to hang out with people and just talk.
Yes.
You can't be on like I don't know, a football field or a baseball field and just chat it up very much. But a golf course, man, there's a lot of walking between each swing.
True. And it's like I started playing, I guess, not late or early adult, but it was right out of college when I was working for that Fortune 500 company. And my boss at the time was like, man, you need to learn how to do this because you get at least 4 hours with somebody
Oh
that you
yeah,
connect with
yeah,
and learn from. And once he said that, I was like, okay, I'm in.
yeah. Just got to
Um,
figure out how to mic them up and
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. I've thought about that too.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, golf is definitely that for me. But I've gotten into the art of it more, and it goes back to my one view thing. Like it was so humbling for me because I I really thought I was gonna like be a pro golfer at one point, like believe that
Okay,
or not.
yeah.
Start off with high unrealistic expectations until I saw what it took
We
to.
all got to have
You
aspirations,
got to.
Yeah,
And when that didn't happen, I talk about like I really went for it, but it was just like, nah, I'm just gonna enjoy this game. And like if I hit a bad shot, all right, I got golf balls, I can always hit another.
I would say that right there is a great way to view work, business. Like you
Yes.
don't have to be the best at it. You got to find your stride, find your swing, so to speak, find what you enjoy, stick with that. And man, I mean, you might not be the highest earning, but you're happy. You
Yes.
find joy, and you probably make money too.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's a good connector, man. I'm glad you
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought it. Maybe I am good at that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you
No,
are good.
no, I'm glad we can talk about golf. But seriously, what's next for you? What's next for RLG Productions? What's next?
Growth, man. Excuse me.
Cough drops.
Okay, that's got to be what's next, man. Anyway, nah, growth has to be what's next. Now that I'm in a season to where like I'm treating it like a business and I'm honoring it as such, I'm seeing a lot of fruits from that, and I'm thinking about a lot of the connections I've made here intentionally the past 2 years, and I'm learning a lot, and I can see a lot of healthy, positive growth for my business. But the season I'm in now, I'm learning to disconnect from the business. I'm starting to get that mindset because I am going to hire somebody this year. I'm going to make my first hire. And when I do that, I've got to let something go.
Yeah.
And then when I make that second, I've got to let something go. And I told you I'm working with some interns now. I've had to let a lot go.
Yeah.
And it's been okay. I'm lying. It has not been okay. I'm going to blink twice because I'm concerned about a lot. But in order to grow, you can't do everything.
Right.
Not when you have sights set for your business. But Brian, one thing, and I haven't shared this publicly yet, and I don't mind sharing it here, but a space that I'm really pursuing is I'm trying to figure out how to be a podcast host. And I want to be the host of a podcast, whether it's off script or whatever. But one of the things that I've known about myself for a long time that I've hidden from the public is that I love public speaking. I
Yeah.
do. Man, I've had opportunities to speak. I think the biggest crowd I've spoken in front of has been like 200 people. And it's a thing where I kind of black out and I don't feel like I'm like on earth anymore. And it's just like I'm sharing from the heart, and I can't repeat everything I said. I can't even tell you what I talked about, but the reception more times than not has usually been good. And so I've channeled myself to really be present when I get those opportunities and try to really take inventory of how I'm feeling with that, and if it really brings me a lot of joy, and it does, it checks all the boxes. So when I think about what's next, it's trying to find ways to do more of that
Yeah.
and still run the production company as well.
What did you have experience when you were younger
No,
in public speaking?
no, dude. Up until my sophomore year in college, dude, I was the quietest guy on earth. You wouldn't even know I was there. But when I took that public speaking course, probably one of the more frightful things I've done
Yeah.
in a long time. And my teacher challenged me, and I did it, and I did very well in that class. And next thing you know, I'm asking her, how do I take the next one? How do I take the next one? And why I didn't now, mind you, I was failing at computer science at the time, and now why I didn't move
This
to
is just before they
communications?
moved you over to
Yeah,
the easy track, right?
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why I didn't like want to pivot to communications, I have no idea. And I'm sure somebody told me that along the way and I just ignored it. But I know that part of my college career was one of the highlights. And as I started in corporate America, I was in IT, and there are very few opportunities to do public speaking oriented things in IT.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually, those don't usually go together very
Right.
often. Yeah.
But I was blessed to have one, and I went across the company talking about this project that we were going to do because no one else on the team wanted to do it.
Right.
And man, it was just like, man, if y'all don't let me at this thing right now, I am ready. I'm geared
Yeah.
up. And so that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence in like, okay, you like this, you're okay at it. You got a lot of room for improvement, but what could it look like to do more of this? And so now I'm like, nah, I'm grabbing that bull by the horns, and I'm gonna see what I can do. And a lot of that fuels my desire to do the off script podcast because it gives me reps.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And since then, oh gosh, there's so much I cannot share. But since then, I've even seen opportunities form organically to where I'm going to get opportunities to do that even as soon as next month. So
That's awesome.
I'm just, man, it's just like what when you talk about what's next, some of that's RLG Productions, some of that's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it, man. I really am.
Well,
I'm so thankful that you asked that.
yeah. Nowadays, I mean, the big thing is personal brand.
Oh yeah,
And I mean, you can build that through your company, but more than anything, you're almost you have to build that with your company. You have to build that personal brand so people know, because it can be, especially as you hire more people, your personal brand and the company really get divergent from each other. Like you're growing this brand, and if all you're doing is focusing on that, after a while, people don't know who Ronnie is. They just know that RLG Productions.
right.
And so, but that's cool that you're aspiring more and more into that personal brand, and it sounds like it's coming from a place of passion
Yes.
and interest. What kind of stuff do you see yourself like public speaking
Dang,
about
Brian, you gonna take
nowadays?
me here? Gosh, I feel so bad saying this, but like some level of like motivational speaking.
Yeah.
And during my time with real estate brokerage, I was doing marketing for. We would have these weekly sales meetings, and I would get a 7 to 10 minute segment to talk about some new aspect of marketing that our real estate agents needed to know. When I tell you, I was like, this is fueling me, and I loved it. And one of the things I did for a couple years was I never took inventory of the feedback I was getting because I was so thankful for the opportunity to get that 7 to 10 minutes a week. But I started taking inventory of that, and I was starting to see a lot of lines of symmetry and how people were being impacted by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it sounds so weird to say, but I wasn't really doing it for y'all. But if enough people are saying the same things, I got to give it a real shot. So yeah, does
Yeah.
that answer the
Yeah,
question?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
I mean, I think motivation is one of those things. It comes in a lot of different forms. You know, you can motivate somebody in a specific work, or you can motivate them in life. You can
Yeah,
motivate them to change direction. You can motivate them to double down on a direction. You know, so I've been fortunate enough in my years. I was in the classroom for most of my career. Really 16 years in education, most of that was in the classroom. And classroom teachers, especially the way that I did things, you feel like a motivational speaker at times. You know, I mean, I worked in an alternative school for 6 years, and that was where students got in trouble at their base school and would get sent. And we did this whole, I mean, it was like an hour, oftentimes more, of counseling with these kids, just trying to encourage them, like, there's moments beyond this moment. You know, you got a whole future ahead of you, and you know, decisions that got you here, or even qualities, or sometimes where it's like personal attributes that cause friction in a classroom. I'm, I tried to get them to see some of those very same attributes are going to be benefits to you in the future. You just got to learn to tame them. You got to learn to manage them. You got to learn to direct them in positive ways rather than the negative ways that may have gotten you here. And so I love those moments. I love those times. I don't know that I could do it in front of hundreds or thousands, but I really love small groups.
yeah,
And not to mention the research, trying to understand kids and some of the backgrounds that are different than my personal background. So like all of that kind of stuff was really, I mean, it was inspiring to me.
yeah.
Not that I was like, you know, listening to myself and saying, "Oh, that was good." It was the whole experience, and even just the sharing that I'd get back from them was
Yeah.
always really great. So
Okay.
I totally get it, man. And
Thanks, man.
and I look forward to seeing more of that. So
Thanks,
whatever
man.
whatever
Thanks,
these
man.
opportunities are that you can't speak clearly about right now, but I look forward to seeing them.
Thanks,
So
man.
make sure you share them out if there's an
Yes.
opportunity, and if there's not an opportunity to share them out publicly, send me a link.
I got you. I got you, man, for sure.
All right, let's talk about who inspires you. So this is something I always try to ask. I actually use this to kick off to the next guest, and that still has led to some of that. So if there's somebody local, somebody that I mean, you've already alluded a lot to like Drew Caldner, who inspires you. But is there someone else that you've had a chance to work alongside, that you're like, this person just has pushed me to new levels of what I do?
That has not been on here?
I mean, it could be.
Because you, you
We
got
can
you
we can
got a lot
call
of
them.
my legends on here, Brian. I'm serious,
We can
man.
call them back.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, I got to get Drew in studio anyway. At
Well,
some
yeah,
point.
get Drew in here.
Yeah.
Delane Hurd
Yeah,
is one that comes to mind.
such a talented guy.
And
Oh my gosh.
another, and I'm gonna talk about him, but
Yeah.
another one, I haven't gotten a chance to meet him yet, but I know a lot of folks that know him, and I see his work, and his work is undeniable. But Joshua Jackson,
Yeah, yeah.
Mercy, has he
Yeah.
been on here yet?
No, Josh has been in this studio though.
Okay.
He sat right over there and was working one day. So Josh was in high school at Helena High School.
Yeah.
And I was actually an assistant principal in training. They called it AA, but anyway, it was basically an assistant principal in training. So I was on staff at Helena High School, and the principal had asked me, "Hey, can you help our Husky TV program?" So they just had like a little broadcast class. And she was like, "Can you help scale it up? Just make it better." And I was like, "I would love to. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Much better than like discipline issues that I was having to deal with otherwise."
Right.
So anyway, I'm working with them. Well, I had been editing for them, and they really needed somebody that knew editing. And I'm walking through the courtyard at the high school, and there's this kid with this fro. You know, really stuck out, right? Really stuck out. And I look over at him, and he's got a camera, and he's taking pictures of some friend. And I walk up to him, and I'm just like, "Hey, man, what you shooting with?" And we just start chatting. By the end of that conversation, I'm like, "How would you feel about getting your schedule changed to where you're in Husky TV?" He was like, "I'd love to." Come to find out, like, his mom bought him Premiere Pro when he was in middle school. and he had been learning to edit on his own, just working with it. I was able to show him a few things. He took it from there, man. So
Yeah.
he was great. And then he worked with Colin Odell,
Yes.
who's been on the
Yes. Who I got a
podcast.
lot of respect for
Yeah.
too.
He
Yeah.
worked with Colin. I remember I was talking to both of these guys. I was like, Colin, you need to meet Josh. Josh, you need to meet Colin. The two of them met up. Neither one of them wanted to meet each other.
Really?
For various reasons. They didn't think they needed like that kind of partnership. Dude, it set both of them in a really great trajectory. They don't currently work together, but man, both of them, I would say, benefited their businesses, and their work benefited from that partnership while it lasted.
Oh,
so,
man. I did not know that. That's
yeah.
interesting to
Josh
know.
is a great creative. He's super talented, and killing it right now, from what I understand, business wise. So, yeah.
If I could, Delane,
Yeah.
dude, we got to work together on a podcast, on a remote podcast for a client of mine. Shout out to Libby Lassiter. And I had seen his work beforehand. And when Libby called me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna have Delane come in and help shoot. I hope that's okay."
Which project was this?
This was Share the Mic.
Was this in the shoe store place?
Yes, with Mayor Woodfin, who you had on the other side.
I
Yes.
talked to, when I interviewed Delane, we looked at that very thing.
Did you
I
really?
didn't know that was with you.
Yes, man. And
Okay.
at this point in my journey, I'm still like very behind the scenes. I don't want anybody to see me.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, like you
Yeah.
didn't see it. But no, dude, I had seen his work before. It was that Birmingham video.
There's the one that he does all himself, and it's got all the stacked videos, and he like rides from one frame to the other. He's so good,
Dude.
He's so good.
So prime. man.
Did you get a chance to see his short film he did recently?
Yes. Oh, like you stalk me?
Yeah.
Man, if Delane sneezes on social, I'm liking it, shared it.
Yeah, I was so honored, man. He reached out to me and invited me to the premiere of that. It was so great.
Yeah,
He-
dude.
He is such a talented guy and just a really good person.
Yes.
And his family, I mean, I met a few of them that night, but his family seems to be incredible. I mean, he's got such a team of people that he gets to collaborate with and work with. But the guy's a machine.
Man.
There's a couple of people that I feel like they're one-man bands that, and I say that, I know they work with other people too, but they have so much talent just in themselves.
Yes.
He's one. Alex Kiker's another.
Kiker.
Those two are machines.
I met him too. He doesn't remember, but I met him. He was doing work for Thomas Cox.
Yeah.
And Thomas Cox came to speak at one of the real estate meetings that I was in. And that's when I got to meet him. We connected. And Kiker and the stuff he's doing now.
Oh, man. He's so good. He's so good.
Can I share this story about Delane, though?
Please.
Man, so we get to that shoe store, Memory Lane, I think's the name of it.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm giddy, Brian. I'm like, so he walks in and I'm just like, "Hey, look, dude, I'm a huge fan of your work." And I'm like, "Man, I'm looking to learn from you today. So there's no pressure. I'm going to show you how I do things. It is not the gospel. If you got an idea for another shot, you say it, I'm doing it." And the look he kind of gave me was like, so I don't think he expected to hear that.
Yeah.
But I could just sense like he kind of relaxed a lot. And he taught me about Rec 709 that day. And it still sticks with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give too much of his sauce away. But when he talked so much about Rec 709, he gave me the confidence to start experimenting with S-Log 3 to be exact.
Yeah.
And that was because of Delane. And I'm like, man, this is what it's about, man. Like I didn't have, when it comes to creative, I didn't have an ego at all. But Delane was cool enough to say, "Hey, man, this is how I shoot." And I was like, "Man, tell me more about that." And he went, and then I came away with something. And I tell my sons this often when I get Delane's content, like I'll show it to them. And I'm like, "Dude, this is going to be a guy that y'all are going to be talking about if you're not already. And just know that your dad shot something with him."
Yeah.
So like, he's going to be a big deal, but I'm going to be okay because I was in his space. Yeah. So
he's one, man, that the friendly neighborhood, what was it, friendly neighborhood videographer or friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of thing that he plays with. Like that video that he did was incredible. The one that Mayor Woodfin and what was the Pete Buttigieg
Yes.
was in it. Man, that was incredible, and just the story
Yes.
behind that's really great. No, super talented guy.
Yeah, yeah,
So big fan. So
yeah.
yeah. Well, listen, man,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining me today. I've got one last slide. I feel like that's a good one to go out on. You know.
Oh, Brian, dude, yes.
That's a tough team right
That
there. I
man,
don't think I would want to mess with
that
them.
was a squad, man. When
It
it comes to
looks
real
like
estate
it.
marketing, you don't wanna mess with us.
No, not at all. The lady on your right, I guess left of frame there,
Yeah.
like she looks tough.
Anna Marie, she is tough.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel like one of them's gonna cut you at some
Oh,
point,
yeah.
man. But seriously, Ronnie, thank you so much for joining me today, man. It was
Man,
such a pleasure getting to know you. Your energy is just infectious. Your smile is great. All right, and I love the kind of stuff that you're doing in Birmingham, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of it.
thanks, Brian, man. Appreciate the opportunity. I mean it. So thankful to be on this podcast, man. I love everything and some that you're doing. I mean that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate you.
cool.
All right,
All right.
now comes the real pressure. Are we still actually recording
Oh,
other
dude,
places?
please know that I feel